In a rare moment of silence on national television, the American Idol stage stood still, not because of a technical glitch, but because of one man, one voice, and one story that stopped time itself. Jamal Roberts, a middle-aged janitor from St. Louis, walked onto the stage with the timid demeanor of someone used to being ignored. But what followed wasn't just another audition, it was a televised emotional event. With the first note of his stripped-down rendition of Unchained Melody, the judges' jaws dropped, the audience froze, and Simon Cowell, known for his ice-cold critiques, visibly swallowed back emotion. In a career filled with bombast and spectacle, Jamal's voice was the antithesis, raw, trembling, haunted. A voice that didn't demand attention, it earned it. The clip skyrocketed online, crossing 1 million views in less than 24 hours and prompting thousands of comments like, "I haven't cried in years until this." But behind this viral breakout was a life even more intense than the performance itself, and what followed next was far from a fairy tale. Hook. But Jamal's heartbreaking rise was only the beginning of a spiral that few saw coming. Before the lights, before the tears, before millions stood in awe, Jamal Roberts scrubbed cafeteria floors at Lincoln Middle School. He wasn't just overlooked by the music industry, he was invisible to the world. Raised by his grandmother after his parents split and disappeared, Jamal learned early how to survive with little. His coworkers, aware of his secret talent, filmed him singing during lunch breaks and secretly submitted a video to American Idol. That video would change everything. In a matter of weeks, the man who once battled roaches and broken vending machines was flown to LA, styled for television, and introduced to millions as the janitor with the golden voice. The transformation was jaw-dropping, but also terrifying. Jamal later admitted he had never been on a plane before. He'd never sung in front of more than 5 people. Fame had arrived overnight, and with it, a tidal wave of expectations he was never prepared for. Hook. But even as America fell in love, Jamal was already starting to crumble beneath the weight. Most contestants arrive at Idol with training, confidence, or at least some experience under their belt. Jamal had none. What he did have was years of emotional pain stored in his vocal cords. As a child, he was mocked for being quiet, for wearing hand-me-downs, and for spending recess in the library. But during Sunday Mass, he found his voice, mimicking gospel choirs and memorizing runs in secret. He never joined a choir, never took lessons. He would just hum under his breath while sweeping the gym floor. That voice, shaped by loneliness and spiritual longing, carried a sound unlike anything else this season. It wasn't perfect, but it was real, so real that some viewers compared it to the late Bill Withers or even Sam Cooke. But behind this miracle tone was a man terrified of his own potential, unsure if the world was applauding him or just pitying him. Hook. And just when Jamal started to believe in the spotlight, it turned blinding. The audition itself was lightning in a bottle. Jamal stood still, clutching the mic with white knuckles, and barely looked up. But when he sang, even the production crew reportedly cried off camera. Lionel Richie covered his mouth, Katy Perry blinked away tears, and the usually skeptical Luke Bryan offered a standing ovation mid-song. The moment was pure TV gold, replayed across morning shows, radio stations, and YouTube reaction channels. But as the headlines rolled in, from mop to microphone, janitor stuns America, Jamal's personal life started buckling. He was overwhelmed by interviews, forced smiles, and sudden fame he never chased. Producers pressured him to retell his janitor to Idol arc in every segment. The public adored him, but Jamal began to feel like a walking sob story, not a real artist. Hook. And soon the cracks began to show in front of the world. Hollywood Week was supposed to be Jamal's big next step, but instead it was where the downward spiral began. Under the hot stage lights and competitive pressure, Jamal froze during group rehearsals. He forgot lyrics. His voice trembled, not with emotion but with panic. Rumors began swirling backstage. Contestants whispered that he'd had a breakdown. One tabloid ran the headline, "Idol's Golden Voice Ghost Production for 72 Hours." The truth wasn't far off. Jamal reportedly locked himself in his hotel room and refused to come out for a full day. When producers finally reached him, he was described as exhausted, overwhelmed, and unsure if he belonged here. That wasn't a diva meltdown, it was a man imploding under pressure. Hook. And yet, the public never saw what was really happening behind the Idol curtain. Despite the turbulence, Jamal made it to the live shows. His top 20 performance of Bridge Over Troubled Water received a standing ovation, but viewers noticed something different. His eyes were hollow, his smile forced. Behind the stage, a crisis was unfolding. Jamal was having panic attacks between rehearsals. Idol staff, under pressure to maintain the schedule, offered little emotional support. Some fans noticed he began missing behind-the-scenes footage and fan-voted Q&As. Slowly but surely, Jamal was being pulled inward. Friends say he started talking about disappearing after the season, and even questioned whether he deserved the attention. Fame hadn't lifted him, it was suffocating him. Hook. And then came the moment that shocked the entire Idol fandom. When Jamal's name wasn't called for the top 10, the reaction was instantaneous and furious. The judges looked stunned, especially Katy Perry, who appeared visibly upset. Fans took to Twitter in droves, launching justice for Jamal, which trended worldwide. Accusations flew. Was it racism? Was it producer interference? Was he punished for missing press events? Nobody knew for sure, but the consensus was clear: Jamal had been robbed. The Idol PR team scrambled to explain the voting process, but the damage was done. Overnight, Jamal went from beloved underdog to tragic symbol of how talent can be chewed up by the machine. Hook. And the final chapter of his Idol journey was even more unexpected. After his elimination, Jamal vanished. No talk show appearances, no post-show press tour. He turned down every record deal and retreated to his hometown. Some fans claim he was spotted volunteering at a local shelter. Others say he's recording gospel music in secret away from labels. A cryptic Instagram story posted months later showed a single lyric on a black screen: "Freedom costs more than fame." That one sentence sparked conspiracy theories, Reddit threads, and even a short documentary. But Jamal has stayed silent. For him, Idol wasn't a launchpad, it was a lesson, a warning, and perhaps a door that was never meant to be opened. Hook because